Hello, and welcome to Tales from the Twist. My name is Joe Lewis, and with me today, as always, is my co-host, Anthony Bull.
Hey, how's it going, Joe?
I'm going very well. How are you today?
Alright, yeah.
I am very excited myself, because we today here on the podcast are going to be speaking about an episode called The Cabbage Patch Fib. Now, if you don't know, if you haven't listened to our podcast before, we podcast about an 80s, 90s television show named Around the Twist, which was based on short stories and books written by Paul Jennings.
I believe they would be called
in about the same they're compilation anthologies.
I don't know.
Anthologies of short stories, right?
Yep, I guess. I don't know.
They were adapted for Channel 7 on Australian television. Yeah, so eventually the show moved to the ABC and then became the children's program that we know and love from our childhoods.
Yeah, Around the Twist, which was a great show.
So as we mentioned, talking about the Cabbage Patch Fib today, we start off with our theme song, as always, with some lovely streaming vocals from the girl that played Linda. And we go into our title screen, which is one of the things we see every week from Around the Twist. We see the title screen and a little kind of, I don't know, a weird shot to set up the themes and style of the episode.
Yeah.
So this week, Cabbage Patch Fib, which, by the way, is punerific.
Oh, Pete must have written that one, eh?
We're talking about the same era of Cabbage Patch Kids, right? Cabbage Patch Kids dolls? Is this era? Like 80s?
I don't know. Yeah? I don't know, but to be honest, the 80s was all blur to me, because I was
not
too
born.
Young. Yeah, not being born was a big issue.
The title card that we have is usually like a little scene to give us a bit of a feel for the episode. And this week, we've got a cabbage patch and we've got a baby's foot coming out of a cabbage. How did you feel about this in the grand, how does it fit into the grand pantheon of title cards in Around the Twist episodes? It was a little obvious, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done something a little bit more creative.
Well, I don't know. Remember, this is the same people who made the Birds Do title card, and that was.
Let's not get started.
Yeah, let's not talk about Birds Do. No, I didn't really like the title card. I didn't like this episode.
Not good. You didn't like this episode.
Well, actually, remember when you were originally saying to me before this started, before we watched it, this is not my favorite episode. I don't like this one. Then we watched it, and wow, wow, talk about dark episode.
Yeah, when I remember watching this a few times, I think, as a kid.
Yeah.
And I was not really excited about it, and my memories are always of poor. Thinking it was quite a poor episode. But watching it today, my goodness. Yeah. There are some themes in this episode. Paul Jennings was on some sort of a bandwagon.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, he was like an alcoholic. I'm not calling you that. He's not an alcoholic. I'm just saying that this is the kind of thing that a person who's lost a child, who then becomes a severe alcoholic, and then writes a story would write about.
You're making some very large judgments about Paul Jennings' character again.
Yeah, well,
we should rename this podcast
What Paul Jennings Does.
Paul Jennings Character Assassinations Weekly. We start this. We get into the episode, and Nell and Bron are fishing. Nell and Bronson are fishing.
Yeah. And
Bronson is asking her, "Where do babies come from?" And he's not giving him a good answer. She's not giving him a good answer.
Yeah.
We cut to Bron and Linda. They're going to school. Where do babies come from? She gives him some rubbish answer. We get a little bit of background into Pete here. So
Pete,
the four kids are walking to school.
Yeah.
Bronson's on the back of Linda asking her about children. And then Pete and Linda are walking side by side. And I think what happens here is that he's asking her out.
Pete
and Fiona.
Pete and Fiona.
I always get Pete, Linda and Fiona mixed up.
They were really close to, proximity-wise, while they were walking, really oddly close. They were close enough that they could have been holding hands.
They were really close together.
It made me think of, if they weren't dating, that they were both very amicable. Is that the word I want to use towards dating each other?
Yes.
Yeah. They were both inclined, to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Pete's like, "Oh, I don't
You want to come around my house and listen to records?
You want to come to my room and listen to records? Yeah, room, sure. You go
listen to records.
Yeah. You want to have sex? Oh wait, that one's actually obvious. Sorry, I'm doing.
We're not having any of that.
I'm doing air quotes here.
And then he asks her all these questions, and she just denies him, and then he just asks her to marry him.
Yeah, I know.
Come
it's
on,
like we're talking about escalating things, right?
Show some tact, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Know when to give up. Bronson asks Pete about babies, and Pete says, "You kiss, and then a baby comes out of a cabbage."
That's stupid. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It's a thing, right? This didn't just originate from Around the Twist. It was a common thing. Where Cabbage Kids.
Yeah, I think also that like the farmer goes down to the cabbage patch and he found her in the cabbage patch. I don't know why it's a cabbage patch. Like, is that supposed to be metaphorical or something? Like, I don't understand because nobody
likes specifically cabbages.
Like, unless it's like, I don't know, is it German or something? You know,
it could have been a German
because
urban.
Other than
what it's not really a myth.
Well, I don't know.
It's a fairy tale, right?
It's not a fairy tale. It's
like a story, old wives' tale.
Yeah, so I'd call it an old wives' tale, I guess. But like
old wives' tales, people are meant to believe them.
Yeah, they are.
Children.
This
right?
is like
a bedtime.
This is like Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Oh, it's even not even that because it's not even fleshed out like the way Santa Claus is. Santa Claus has a really strong mythos about it, whereas the Cabbage Patch is just there's a cabbage patch and I found you there. I feel like this should slot into the category of, geez, I don't really want to tell him right now. So it's like saying, where does the dog gone? Oh, it's gone to puppy heaven.
Yeah, this is that level.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hang on, is there a puppy heaven? Well, I don't know. You're not going to go talk to your child about, the ecclesiastical values of puppy heaven.
It'll lead
to as I was saying,
a wise child.
Cabbage, do you like cabbage?
No, cabbage it depends what you're using it for. I wouldn't eat cabbage raw.
Yeah, but most
people eat cabbage raw?
No, most people don't enjoy cabbage.
Yeah, sauerkraut's alright.
Yeah, sauerkraut's okay. And that's why I'm saying it has to be the German or it has to be like a metaphor about how, I don't know, something, you don't like it, but then your child comes from it, so you have to, maybe it's about, having in a broken relationship. I don't know.
What?
Cabbage patch, because you don't like cabbages, right? But you go down to the cabbage patch, you get your kid. You love your kid, but it's like, oh, I hate my cabbage.
So you're reading in to a really old
thing
story
that
we tell children.
Yeah. Geez. Why a cabbage patch? Why not a wheat farm or a what's a better vegetable to eat? Corn? Yeah, sure. People eat corn. You hate corn, but I mean,
corn is in abundance though.
Yeah, well,
whereas cabbages, it's kind of specific, so not everyone will get one.
Does that mean there's like a sort of like the farmers control supply of the births?
Yeah, the supply and demand of births.
So like they
farmers.
Yeah, so I imagine that farmers would be making a bit of a sweet mint on that,
Tony, Fiona, and Linda they leave Pete to go off and look at horses.
Yeah,
I don't know what was going on there.
I'm assuming everything that Pete and Fiona do is just double entendre for sex or something related
no, but this isn't Pete and Fiona. This is Linda and Fiona.
Oh, okay.
They're best friends because they both like feminism. As we found out in a previous episode.
But then they're like, I also love horses too. I'm like, well, that's, I don't know, isn't that a big cliche?
I guess.
It's very.
We're talking about Paul Jennings here.
Yeah, I know Paul Jennings, the
master, the
murderer guy.
Murderer.
Well, clearly, later in the episode, we find out that there's some serious infanticide. But spoiler alert.
They're at dinner. The family are sitting at dinner, and Tony asks Bronson, where do babies come from? Oh no, they're in the workshop.
Bronson asks that.
He asks him in the workshop. Bronson asks his dad.
Yeah,
Isn't that what I said?
No, you said Tony asked Bronson where do babies come from.
No, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Why would Tony be asking Bronson?
I don't know, because Tony's,
Bronson is asking Tony in the workshop, and Tony's just going, yep, yeah, mate, yeah.
I do that.
Yeah, that's correct.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, that's fine.
I do that all the time. Like, my wife's always like, hey, do you know where this is? I'm like, yeah. And then like a minute later, I'm like, oh, wait, no, I didn't do it. Sorry.
One thing about this episode, it cuts around a bit. It's not quite montagey, but it's very cut from one place to another place really quickly. Very short scenes.
Yeah, it's like, I don't. What do you describe that as? Like,
it's basically it's a montage.
What's the point of that though? Like, why did they do that? In your opinion, like,
it's usually just lazy storytelling.
Okay, so like, it's meant to just convey that Bronson has talked to everybody about
it's
where
just
babies
getting
come
that
from.
away quickly.
Okay, so it's something else.
But it wasn't quickly because that took about 5 minutes.
It did. Like, you think like. And you think if it was going to be a montage of Bronson asking people, it would take you a little bit quicker. Maybe it'd be lead to something, but it sort of goes, oh, Cabbage Patch, blah, 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 and it culminates in the dinner scene.
Yeah, the family's sitting there at dinner. Pete has spaghetti in his nose.
How old's Pete again?
I don't know. I thought he was about like 15 or 16, but I think that they would be they look older, but I think they're supposed to be playing younger students.
Yeah.
Because we find out in this episode Bronson is 7.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't look 7.
He says that he's 7 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Pete and Linda must only be like 13, 14, right?
Oh,
unless they're significantly older.
Well, I mean, if they're 13 or 14, I mean, you'd think that they have to be older in like real life, right?
Yeah.
There's more value in having older people, right?
I imagine the actors.
Having children, right? There's labor laws and stuff, right?
There are
there are like different degrees. For like an older child and an older teenager would probably would be able to film longer.
Well,
than
I don't think it matters as long as you're not a minor.
Okay. Oh, so they wouldn't matter then, because they were all minors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it changes state by state as well.
Okay, fair enough.
They're having dinner. Pete's got spaghetti in his nose. Tony wants to have a philosophical argument with his children. He wants to have a relevant dialogue with them.
Yeah, he's like, because he's watching television, right? Yeah. And then Pete's got a spaghetti in his nose, and Tony's like, you cut that out right now. And he's like, right, the TV's off. Let's go have a serious conversation about discourse.
With my 7-year-old.
Yeah, with my 7-year-old and my 13 and 14-year-old, let's talk about philosophy. I'm an artist. I'm thinking he went to university. I'm guessing he probably did.
He wanted to talk about saving rainforests, so he definitely went to university.
Well, yeah. And it's like he probably has done like what? Either introductory philosophy or...
He did an arts degree. He did a general arts degree.
Yeah, he probably has some general understanding of philosophy. So when he starts coming out with Descartes, they'll be like, what? What the hell is this? And this 7-year-old will be like, wait, I might not exist? Oh, God. Fuck, screw where babies come from.
Yeah.
Like, where do I exist?
Yeah. Tony Twist, very irresponsible parent. Yeah. Doesn't want to tell his children about where babies come from. Is happy talking to them about existential philosophy.
Yeah.
The children begin to rib him about dating Faye or Miss James. They know what's going on here. They know that some romance is blooming.
Yeah.
The twins begin to have a go at each other when Bronson brings up where do babies come from again. Mm-hmm. And I believe Linda says to Pete, you came from a compost patch.
Oh, really?
It's a joke.
That means they both came
cabbage patches.
That means they both came from a compost.
Well, possibly.
I mean, are they twins?
Yeah, scabby twins from the tip.
So then that's like a suicide or kamikaze
of arguments.
Yeah, kamikaze argument. That's what that is. It's a kamikaze argument.
I guess.
Yeah.
Tony goes on to tell them, oh well, you don't always have to kiss to have a child, because this is something that Bronson is fixated on, the kiss aspect of having children, as told by Pete. And he says, these days, you can have a baby without even touching.
Yeah, I find that interesting. Like,
he's talking about IVF, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, remember, this is the late 80s, and like, when was the first IVF? It was probably like mid-80s? First IVF? I don't know. I read it somewhere, probably mid-80s. So it would have been filtered around. Now, this guy supports the Greens. We know this from previous things. It's an assumption that he's progressive on social issues, just because we'll just take the Greens position, right? But the way he responds to the situation, it's like it seems like he's very not against it, but it's like I've got reservations about IVF, which is something you wouldn't expect from someone from a progressive political party.
I think in some respects, Tony is just, a stand-in for Paul Jennings' beliefs.
Probably. I don't know about Paul Jennings' beliefs, but what I found interesting was that he wanted to have this really civilized discussion, heightened intellectual discussion, and then the question comes up of where do I come from, which I mean again that's philosophy, but also he then wants to excuse it as it's in the Cabbage Patch. He doesn't want to tell him. It's like, so you want to have an intellectual discussion, but then when you actually are approached with an intellectual topic, you cave. So that's kind of weird, isn't it? What does that show about his character?
It shows he's...
You know what it says to me? It says to me that he's one of those vapid intellectuals who are like, I go to art galleries, they talk out of their ass, and then when they get pushed to the wall, it's like, oh shit, they don't know anything about what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of like myself. Oh, snap.
it becomes time to talk about chores.
Yeah.
And Bronson goes to get the chore table, and I kind of missed what was happening here. It was a bit weird. I think it's Bronson's turn to look at the Cabbage Patch.
Yeah, they have a Cabbage Patch.
Which I'd never heard of before.
Yeah, I don't understand how they have a Cabbage Patch, and I don't understand why they have a Cabbage Patch.
At a lighthouse.
Yeah, just in general. Like, they're not farmers. They're not German. So, not to disparage German people, but I mean, I don't know who the hell's growing cabbages.
Yeah, like, this isn't really
did you ever have a veggie level. Did you ever have a veggie farm?
What,
or a veggie, or even in your backyard?
I think so. We had like cherry tomatoes or something.
Did you have anything else?
Carrot.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You didn't have just cabbage. Most family farm, little farm plots of veggies. They'll have like carrots. You'll have some corn. You'll have some tomatoes.
Corn.
You hate corn. Corn's
a bit extreme to grow in your backyard, right?
No, you can grow corn.
Can you?
Yeah, they grow up really easy. It just grows up straight. You got some pumpkin, I guess.
Pumpkin.
My point is, your typical patch would be 4 or 5 different vegetables. You're growing them because one, I know it's a project, and 2, you have this idea that, you'll be healthier because of it and it'll be better for you. And some people it really works, because you ever had like somebody who has had a farm like that? They'll be like, oh, we have excess potatoes. Yeah, you have these potatoes, and they're always massive, and that's pretty cool. But again, why do they have a Cabbage Patch?
I think it's fairly safe to say they have a Cabbage Patch for the purposes of plot.
I believe Mr. Twist is wanted to make some sauerkraut art.
Sauerkraut
art. I'm not going to put that past, but Mr. Twist could have been like, we're not going to grow these cabbages, and then we're going to make them a sauerkraut, and then I will make a sculpture out of sauerkraut, and that will make, what's her name, Faye? That'll make Faye fall in love with me.
It seems like a solid plan to me.
Yeah, it's up there with all these plans.
So Bronson goes to check on the Cabbage Patch, and Tony goes, see if there's a kid in there. You go do that. Go see if there's a baby.
You go out by yourself. Don't have any adult supervision. Stay away from the cliff.
Yeah. Bronson shows up at the Cabbage Patch and immediately finds a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pete is with him here as well. And then out of nowhere, Nell shows up.
Yep.
Look, Nell, I found a baby, and there wasn't even any kissing involved.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be kind of weird if there was.
Imagine that conversation. Attendance. Yeah, imagine that conversation. It's like, you kissed your brother. You didn't kiss your brother, and you made a baby. I don't know what.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, actually, I want to go down the rabbit hole.
No.
The fact of Nell.
Different rabbit hole.
Right? Different rabbit hole. We're back with it. Nell is a guardian angel, or she's in a coma. All right? Because what happens with the baby? It can only be held by Bronson, right?
Yeah, so Bronson picks up the baby, holds it, it's green, and it's smiling. Nell comes, she's like, I'm experienced with these things, I used to be a lighthouse attendant, takes the baby, and it immediately turns blue.
Yep. You know why that is?
Why?
That was Nell trying to exorcise the baby. Nell was like, this is a demon baby, and I need to protect the twists as best I can.
The power of Christ compels you! So I would agree with your premise, apart from the baby goes blue whenever anybody else tries to hold it. Because Tony and Linda show up and are shocked. And Linda takes the baby and it also turns blue, gives it to Tony.
Well, maybe it's...
And it turns blue in his arms as well.
Maybe that's a part... Maybe Nell's in a coma again. Alright? Yeah, I don't know which one it is going to be, okay? But maybe it's like she had some real traumatic issues. Maybe she lost a child during childbirth and... Maybe this is her dream.
I understand your theory, but the linkage here is not as good as previous weeks. Even those were stretching.
I want to believe.
I
want to believe. Okay, the truth is out there.
Linda gives the baby back to Bronson, and it's fine again.
Yeah.
And Pete says, "Oh, look, Bronson, you're its mother." Yeah. Well done, Pete.
It's terrible.
Well done.
Terrible. It's like
zero effort involved in that. Not even a joke. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, 0 out of 10. Do not try again. Do not pass go. Do not get $200.
They go back inside the lighthouse,
mm-hmm.
and Tony is phoning the hospital, I think. And apparently the doctor is on sick leave.
Yeah, not so. Where?
The
doctor is on sick leave.
Well, he's sick.
So
he said the doctor's sick.
And what do you do when the doctor's sick?
Well, you ask for the nurses or sisters, and apparently they were on strike.
Sisters are on strike?
He said the sisters are on strike.
So why are they calling a Catholic hospital?
It might be the only one in Paradise.
Yeah, true. I guess so. Only Catholics get to Paradise. You're kind of right.
If you don't know, Paradise is what we refer to as the small town which they live in, because as far as I know, it's been so far unnamed.
It's been unnamed, and as far as I'm concerned, it's Paradise. It's heaven. Twist are dead. Sorry.
The ambulance apparently also has a flat tire.
Yeah, well, this
is a terrible hospital that they're running here.
Yeah. Like, the ambulance is flat tire, and it's like, okay, well, you can change a flat tire, and not only that, you must change a flat tire in an ambulance, because how many people are having heart attacks out there, and they're being told, oh, sorry, we can't send an ambulance because there's a flat tire. Oh, sorry, and the mechanic's closed today, so...
Yeah, you
are shit out of luck, mate.
The only person available to be sent, conveniently, is the Mrs. Gribble.
Yeah.
Who
we call matron because we didn't pick up her name, and that's just her title.
She shows up with her family.
Yeah.
And they're inquiring, where'd you get this green baby? This is amazing. Where'd you get this green baby? Oh, it came from the Cabbage Patch. And Gribble goes, James, go and check the Cabbage Patch. Go and get me another one of them. If we have a green baby, we can be famous.
You see, this is the thing, like, Mr. Gribble shouldn't do that. Like, he's always shown some amount of skepticism, even if it's because to, save face and not to look like an idiot.
Yeah, but I think he sees, I'm not sure what he can gain from just being famous, but if he ever sees that there's profit involved in anything, he'll get on board with it.
Yeah, but like he doesn't ask enough questions. He doesn't say,
no.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. From a Cabbage Patch, and then it's like, well, where else did it come from?
It could have. Yeah, I don't know.
And then
they could have stolen
it. Go check the Cabbage Patch. That's what it should have been, but not. It's go check the Cabbage Patch. We immediately believe this child who was green came from the Cabbage Patch, even though it's unlikely to see a green child, but it's even more unlikely that a child is born, we're in a Cabbage Patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gribbles want to take the baby, I guess, because they can get famous, and the matron says, give it to me. Bronson says, no, it turns blue if I give it to anybody else.
Yeah.
And she goes, listen to me. I have 5 diplomas. Give me that baby. Which diplomas does she have?
Well, I mean, okay, well, it's probably like a diploma of nursing.
Okay, that's one.
That's one.
Is there a diploma of head nursing? Diploma of matronism?
There's probably some sort of specialization. But the weird thing is, it's like she's got 5 diplomas. She didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand you having maybe 1 or 2, but why would you why would you have 5? If you're gonna have 5, why are you not getting
something else?
Why are you not getting a bachelor's? Why are you not getting a graduate certificate? Having 5 separate diplomas seems like a lot. And I know that you're just a nurse, but it's like you're having 5 diplomas.
Let's not say just a nurse.
Well,
we're friends of nurses here.
My parents are both.
Twists.
Yeah, my parents are both nurses, right?
Yep.
All right, and they both have masters.
Yep.
So it's like they've specialized in their field, but it's like surely if you're going to get 5 diplomas, if I was going to get 5 diplomas in my field,
yeah,
right, it'd be either that or I would choose to do something else, like a grad or a master's or a doctorate. Why would you just get 5 of the same thing?
The weird thing here as well is that nowadays, I don't know if this was the case back then, but in modern times, you need a bachelor's degree to be a nurse. At least what is it? There's 2 different types of nurse. There's registered and...
I think so. I know you can get one, I know you can do some nursing at TAFE, but I'm not sure what else flows from that.
That's a different type of nurse. There's like the one type of nurse, and then there's the other
But
type.
like, she's matron, right? She's the head of the nurse. So even if to get that role, I would assume that the hospital would be like, okay, well, do you have your bachelor's? No.
But I have 5 diplomas.
Well, that's it's like, good. We would prefer it if you have a bachelor's. Okay, well, I'll finish that off. They'll probably give you some credit as well.
I don't think you understand.
I have
5 diplomas. I did the same diploma 5 times, so you've got to go.
No, it'd be 5 separate diplomas. Slightly different in their own way. One of them's probably like a hospitality diploma or something, because, I mean, you'd run out of diplomas eventually.
This is like in high school when everyone does like certificate 3 and they have like 5 certificate 3s.
Yeah.
The Gribbles take away the baby.
Which I think is probably the soundest
They just take it from them
without
consent.
They say like, we got to take him to the hospital, and then Bronson's like, no, you need us because
because it'll turn blue.
Yeah, turn blue, right? Well, and then they're like, oh well, we'll go to the hospital. Bronson, you come with us.
Yeah.
Right. Now I know that maybe you shouldn't send your child with him, but like Mr. Twist goes, no, the child's staying here.
Well, yeah.
But, like, that's bad.
They run out the door with the baby, and Bronson has the best line of the episode.
What's that?
He says, "The Gribbles took my baby." Which, at the time, would have been pretty topical, right?
Kind of offensive. At the time, I mean, right?
What we're referring to, for our younger listeners, is the "Dingo took my baby" line from the Azaria Chamberlain media circus. I don't know if you could call it
a dingo took me baby.
A dingo took me baby.
Yeah, but that happened like in the mid-80s. And
yeah, this is 89, right?
89. It's 4 years. That's like making a joke about...
people get upset about it when you make a joke about it.
That's like in a child's show, making a joke about the Port Arthur massacres and like 1999. If you're making a joke about the Port Arthur massacres now, it would be offensive.
Yeah. People get very tired about these types of things.
It's just weird, you know. But weird. I guess maybe it's a different time period because we weren't alive back then, but it was a thing, you know.
We were being born.
Yeah, I mean, we see it in Tropic Thunder. That was pretty awesome. It's like, I remember that scene.
Yeah, it was. People still got offended over that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
The Gribbles, they leave with the baby. Then they come immediately back in because the baby's purple. Bronson takes it back, and it's fine. And the baby it's got a really creepy smile. Whenever they do like a close up of the baby's face, it's doing this creepy grin smile thing.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, again, they said they're going to take the child, come to the hospital.
Yep.
And Mr. Twist says, no, we're not going to, you're going to stay here. But there's the thing, like, the child has got, like, let's be in the real world for a second here. The child has some serious, it's got to be psychological, I'm guessing it's psychological, right? Issues where he can't breathe. He can't breathe unless the mother is there. Father, is there. So it's like, hang on, this should really go see a doctor. You should be taking this to not just the regular hospital. This should be going to like a major hospital.
Not to mention the fact that
in Sydney or in Melbourne, whichever is closest or is most specialised. That would be that's a case study right there for starters. And two, the child needs to be able to breathe. Like, I mean, at least give him ventilation or something so that you can get over this problem because this is a serious issue.
It's also green.
Yeah, it's also green too.
It's also green.
Yeah, but that's like the least of its worries now. The most troubling thing is if anyone else holds them, it's like rogue. It's like a reverse rogue.
It's gonna die.
Yeah, it dies.
As a reverse rogue.
It's a reverse rogue, yeah.
Gribble is quite upset that the baby has to stay with them because he wants to be famous off the back of this green baby. Yeah. And says, there's plenty of baby here for everyone.
That's just weird.
Another more proof of the 80s just being a weird time where you can make weird lines like that.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very strange line.
They're going to carve up that baby. Yes, is what they want to do.
And then he refers to his son basically like a dog. Here, boy, go, we're leaving.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
It's the 80s, I guess.
Yeah, 80s, yeah.
We cut to, I guess it's the next day, and all the Twist family is sitting around, and Nell is there. Nell likes to hang out at this house quite a lot. And Nell, as she's flitting about in the house, the ghost music begins to play, and the whole family can hear it, but Nell is still in denial.
Yeah, still in denial. She's not waking up from that coma.
She's not waking up. Gribble busts in the door.
Yeah.
And he's brought with him an entire press conference. And so they set the family up on these sofas and they talk. They have a press conference about the green baby.
Yeah.
They ask, what do you eat? And Pete replies, the baby cries when we eat coleslaw.
Oh, yeah, I guess there's only so much of this guy you can take, eh?
But Paul Jennings was channeling the spirit of pun.
Yeah, he was.
There are many. We're only scratching the surface here. There are many, many.
See, I missed that entirely. Like, I missed that pun. Like, when you said that again, and I was like,
They've made the paper. They've made the newspaper. They're going to school. Everyone's famous. Faye comes up to Tony. They're at the school. And she goes, isn't, Bronson's a bit young to be a father. I think she's trying to insinuate something here.
Yeah.
The fact that this is Tony's kid. And he's palmed it off. Which would be extremely irresponsible.
Yeah, but like, I mean, that's kind of like also a bit insulting. Like, that's something that like you would say, well, listen here, bitch, all right, you don't know nothing about our family, okay? How dare you? It's like, oh, what's this? Let me take the child. Oh, look, it can't breathe unless Bronson holds it. So to you, I'm just giving the middle finger to the microphone, pretending that's bait. So to you in you bloody judgmental way, bitch.
He palms it off as coming from the Cabbage Patch, as it did, and she doesn't believe him.
Well,
I thought this scene was really weird.
That makes sense that you do not believe him, but...
Yeah, it makes sense, but what is she thinking? Where did he think that he got the baby?
Why is the baby green?
Why is the baby green?
And why does the baby struggle to breathe?
Do you think on set they had problems with actually having a green baby?
They didn't have a green baby, I don't think. You reckon it was a post?
I don't know.
I reckon it was. I reckon it was a post effect.
Do you think they just coloured it?
No, I don't know if they coloured it, but I think they threw over like a tinting.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. It would have been a lot quicker, because like when you saw the baby turn blue, like they probably threw over another shade, it fades through. Yeah, because like this is before computers, so... It wasn't before computers, but it was before computer technology was really...
widespread?
Yeah, like you could do this in Photoshop really easy, or in, After Effects. But back then it would have been, and on the budget it would have been practical effects. Because remember how crappy the other budget is, right? For their other effects. Like when they throw up a seagull and it's literally a still image that's rotated around. Yeah.
Bronson gets some flack from his friends at school. Do you reckon he breastfeeds?
Yeah.
That's one of the comments directed at him, which is not fair. Poor old Bronson.
Yeah, poor Bronson, man.
Now, we get a bunch of scenes here in a row, kind of like we were talking about before. Really short scenes telling us kind of the same message.
Motherhood is hard.
Yeah, basically they're telling us don't be a teen parent, I think is the message from the following scenes. Let's just go through them quickly and then we can talk about the ridiculousness. The baby needs a bottle at school. Its siblings can't feed it. Only Bronson can feed it.
Yeah, but remember, this is another thing too. The baby can't breathe, and then conveniently, then they've got Bronson trying to get his brother and sister to feed it.
Yeah.
It doesn't start turning blue. It just doesn't eat the food. Yeah. So it's like, so can it breathe now? Like, what's the deal?
Well, they weren't holding it. It was just kind of sitting in a thing.
No, they were at one stage. They were holding it. They tried to do like, even so, like, even.
I thought it was in a thing.
No, I don't know.
He's sitting at school.
You said it was in a thing then.
It's like a little cradle.
So then Bronson doesn't need to hold the baby.
No, but he needs to feed it.
So, look, I know that the child...
The logic of this episode is not strong.
You could, in theory, this is not your child. You could make some sort of soundproof, transparent device, okay, put the baby in it, right, and just wheel around school. A lot simpler.
Well, there are problems with that because...
Would it work on a picture of Bronson?
I don't know. This is something worth investigating.
Yeah, that's what they should have done.
And you have a Cabbage Patch child.
Yeah, like try a picture and try a video. If a video works, just stick it in front of the television.
He's at school giving the bottle a baby, and he's flanked on either side with young girls with dolls and bottles. And a little boy comes up to Bronson and says, "You want a kick, mate?" And Bronson says, "Nah, I've got to feed the baby." Like, they're saying like, his childhood is going down the drain.
Do you want to come out? I think the equivalent is like, "Hey mate, do you want to come out for some fun?" Can't. I'm a parent now. I'm a parent. But it's like, it was done in a way, it was like, get it? Because you get it?
Teen parenting. Yeah. Thanks, Paul. Disturbing his class with dirty nappies. He's fishing with Pete and Linda, and the baby's crying.
He becomes a neglectful parent. It spirals out of control.
The message of this episode is basically like, the baby is he wasn't prepared for the responsibility. Yeah. And once he had the responsibility, he couldn't deal with it, so he spiraled into neglect. Yeah. He's fishing with Pete and Linda, and Pete says, "I can't read my note here."
What's it say? It says baby's green toast head.
No. What I've written here is one of Pete's puns. It says, babies are meant to be green and not heard.
Oh,
marvelous. Tony and Nell are with Bronson, and Bronson's discussing how much he's not prepared for this. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He can't constantly be with the baby. And Tony says, "Look, mate, I think you're just going through a midwife crisis."
Oh god! So this is where we know where What's-Majiggy gets his puns from.
Pete directly inherits them.
Yep, directly inherits those bad jokes.
Nell says, "This is why I was never married."
Yeah, what What? Really?
Because of children.
Yeah, that's exactly why you were never married, Nell. Sure, you chose to not be married. But that's weird. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that she was never married at all.
She said she was.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I think she's full of shit.
She has like 7 brothers that are all ghosts. Maybe they were scaring off her potential suitors.
Or she is a guardian angel, again. Or she's like
you keep switching.
Look,
is she a coma or a guardian angel? I don't know. Which one is it?
I can't tell you which one it is because I don't know, but I know it's either she's a guardian angel for the twist or she's in a coma. If she's in a coma, it's like Inception rules, you know? Except instead of being married in Inception world, she's not married. But in real world, she is married.
What are the rules of being married in Inception?
Remember, his dead wife.
Yeah.
He keeps
seeing her.
You keep seeing his dead wife, and his dead wife screws up all his plans, or kind of makes it difficult for him in Inception world. We call it that, or Dream world.
So Nell is not married because she's not prepared to have an Inception husband,
or something like that, or she lost her husband, or something like I don't know. It just seems unbelievable that she would never have been married. It's just it's an odd comment. Just be like, I've never been married. It's like, really?
I think it's more likely that she was just never married.
I don't know. Maybe she's the thing is well, just because she wasn't married doesn't mean she didn't have a kid. She could have had a kid.
I guess
implications. I mean, this episode goes pretty far, so sure.
Yeah, we're about to get dark.
Yeah.
But the baby's really loud and it's waking up everyone, and we get shots from outside the lighthouse seeing everyone's lights turn on.
Yeah.
So Tony's like, Bronson! And then we get one from Pete and one from Linda. And then we get one from Nell, who lives in a different house.
Yeah.
Upset about how loud the baby is being in the middle of the night.
Yeah, yeah.
So Bronson takes action here.
Yes,
and decides to, inverted commas, return the baby.
By return, we mean attempt to murder his own child.
He takes the baby back to the Cabbage Patch.
Yeah.
Puts it down and says goodbye, and then he goes over to the fence and leaves it, stands there at the fence of the Cabbage Patch as tears roll down his cheek and stares as the baby goes blue and begins to suffocate to death.
Mr. Twist needs to, I don't know, he should have called a psychologist. This is definitely what is it like?
This is not normal behavior.
This is some sort of postpartum depression.
Pete and Linda.
Actually, I don't know if that's the same thing, but still, my point is, any child wants to kill his own baby. Like that's something you should step in and say, okay, we should probably contact a psychologist.
Well, Tony didn't know.
Yeah, well,
it's not really his child anyway. But Pete and Linda come and they're like, "What are you doing, Bronson?
Yeah.
The baby's crying," and he's like, "I'm putting it back where it came from."
Yeah, he's just sitting there.
These are the words of a murderer.
Standing there, watching the child slowly die, because you know that's what's going to happen, right?
Linda says, "You can't return babies." Like, this is the message of the episode.
Yeah.
Bronson is stoic.
Yeah.
As tears continue to roll down his cheek as he stares at the baby as it dies.
Yeah.
Pete and Linda are trying to get it to come back, trying to keep it alive. They're giving it mouth to mouth. The whole scene.
Yeah, it's traumatizing.
This scene is terrifying.
Far out.
They pick up the baby. They're like, "Bronson, please!" And Bronson's just staring them down. And then he gives in. He goes, "I can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
I can't watch my child die."
And he picks up the baby, and then it comes back to life and starts to laugh. And then Bronson, his tears are gone, is laughing and happy that his child is alive.
Still attempted murder.
Yes.
Yeah, still attempted murder. That's one of those things that you would have to just, as you live in the Cabbage Patch, talk to your brother and sister, and your brother and sister would have to be like, we can't tell anybody what happened. Because if cops find out, they'll be like, "No, that's still murder."
It's just postnatal abortion. It's fine.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Pete and Linda suggest a child psychiatrist or psychologist. I can't remember.
That's a psychiatrist, and it's like, that can help the child or whatever, right?
Yes, I think it's for the baby, not for Bronson. But Bronson probably needs one too.
But I don't know, psychiatrist? No, it should be kind of psychologist though.
Bronson says, "I'm only 7 years old. I'm too young to be a father."
Yeah.
And Pete says, "Oh, listen, mate. Maybe a greengrocer can help."
Oh, Jesus Louise. Man, bloody hell.
The cabbage, one of the cabbages in the Cabbage Patch.
I just want to ask you a question. If the child had died, what do you think Pete would have said?
He would have
Looks like it's coleslaw now or something, like some sort of awful pun.
"Get your wieners, it's sauerkraut night."
Yeah, something like that. Because it's like, wow, just be serious for a second. Your brother nearly killed his child. He didn't get 1 second not make fun.
Your brother is a murderer.
Nearly a murderer. Okay.
Are you a murderer only after you've killed someone? Or can you be a murderer and have never killed someone?
No, I think you have to kill someone, right? I mean,
if you want to kill someone, are sure that you are going to kill someone, you try to kill someone, but they survived, but you didn't know that they survived, are you a murderer?
Oh, so like you tried to kill them, you thought you killed them.
Yeah. So I drive you into the middle of the ocean in my boat. I kick you off the boat, drive back to shore. Miraculously, you're saved by Filipino fishermen.
Of course,
you live out your life in Indonesia.
Yeah. Well,
I think I'm a murderer. Am I a murderer?
It depends where the term, I guess, label is applied from. You know, if it's most of society deems you to be a murderer, then I guess that's probably what it would be. Yeah. Like if most people think you killed somebody, then sure. It's like Double Jeopardy, right? Like,
yeah.
Movie Double Jeopardy, not the actual thing Double Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Where like the chick supposed to kill her husband, but the husband fakes his own death and he doesn't die. He lives.
Yeah.
Well, everyone thinks she's a murderer, so she has the right to kill her husband because he's technically supposed to be dead.
In the movie, you can't be tried for the same crime twice. So when it turns out he's actually still alive, and if she kills him, she can't be tried for that because she already served her jail sentence for killing him.
Yeah. So my question is, did the Australian government issue me a death certificate? Is probably the most important thing.
What if nobody knows that you're missing?
Okay, so nobody knows I'm missing. I mean, then in your own mind you can think you're a murderer, I guess. But
I guess there's different levels. You could be a murderer by law or whatever. But
the thing is, the thing with that logic is, it's like I could murder in theory anything technically.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't exist, just by my own mind, I could believe that I killed fairies don't exist. I killed some fairies, apparently.
You're a fairy murderer.
I'm a fairy murderer now.
One of the cabbages in the Cabbage Patch gets massive, and this green lady appears, and starts speaking Russian. I think it sounds
definitely
Russian.
Sounded Eastern European. I was like, is this some sort of allegory for what, like adoptions from the Ukraine or whatever?
Is that a thing?
I think it was a thing. I think there was like adoptions from like Romania or some shit. Like I remember there's a famous photo or something like. Yeah, there was a Romanian child who was being like, not held captive. Abducted, yeah. And it's like this one where there's a guy from like an SAS or something, fully geared up and he's pointing a gun at a child and her mother in like a closet or something. So there were some issues, I think, back then. So
the lady that's speaking Russian, she comes out of the Cabbage. And if this isn't weird enough, an entire camera crew of green people also come out of the Cabbage.
I thought like that was then when the camera crew came out, I thought that was just they were just there as like the regular film crew.
Or like the actual film crew for Round
Twist. I thought they were just really poorly shot. Like it was like, oh, I shouldn't have been there. But I'm like, okay, so it's a media circus. What is going on?
That never happens.
I don't know.
No. Yeah. The occasion, like you might see a boom occasionally. Yeah. When are you going to see the entire crew like just in frame?
I don't know. Happen? Apparently, you can see him in like Saturday Night Fever.
What, in the reflection of...
Yeah, apparently,
Yeah, that's a reflection. That's not blatantly in the middle of the frame.
Maybe they're trying to raise a statement. I don't know.
Well, they might be, because later on we see some stuff right at the end of the episode. But they come out and I think what's happening here is that they're accusing the Twist kids of stealing the baby.
Yeah.
And Bronson said, but you left it here.
Yeah.
Okay? We just took it. You left it here. And then they're really mad, and then they take off with the baby. Is this an allegory for Stolen Generation?
You know what? Let me just look at my notes back here. Stolen Generation parable? No, probably not. So we both came up with the same separate notes. I don't think it's Stolen Generation because of what the Stolen Generation is. Like, you could argue it's something else. Like some sort of like, because this sounds like something that's happened in history before, where someone's like, we didn't steal from you, you've just left this here, and it's like, yeah, but that's what we do, that's how we do it. So maybe it's something like property rights. We didn't steal your land. You like the Indians could be like, Native Americans could be like, oh, you stole our land from us. It's like, we didn't steal your land, you didn't develop your land, you didn't use your land, so we didn't know it was yours to steal. So at some occasions,
the green people, they take the baby. And they go back inside the Cabbage, and it gets really small again. And Bronson says, goodbye, son.
Yeah.
Tony, it's the next day, I think it's daytime. Tony is in the cabbage patch with his children, and they're tearing up all the cabbages. And Nell comes past and she's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And they're like, we're replacing the cabbages with onions, just to be safe. And they joke about the possibility of an onion patch kid. Are we likely to see this?
No, probably not. Like, they probably will not even have an onion patch in the next episode or at all.
Well, one thing about this patch, this vegetable patch.
Yeah.
The scarecrow here.
Yeah. We
will see again.
I know, I've seen them. Like,
we will see. Stay tuned. We will definitely see the scarecrow again, and I have many things to say about the scarecrow.
I just wanted to point out, it's like, as I said before, it's called crop diversity. You know.
Yeah.
Why
just onions?
Well,
do you think they have other stuff as well?
No, they don't. I think they're just like, I don't know why they just have onions. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Like, nobody wants onions that much. Nobody wants cabbages that much. Unless Mr. Twist is trying to run like a business of like organic onions or something. Or maybe he's been like contracted out. Like, you know, maybe there's some sort of weird onion startup company where it's like, hey, we'll rent parts of your land to grow onion patches. And somehow through some sort of complicated logistics system, it becomes more efficient to do it this way than to just have an entirely long farm.
Like
of
an
onions.
actual onion farm.
Yeah. Like a network of onions. The Onion Network.
But we can start this.
We could.
Linda and Bronson are talking, and Bronson asks her where babies actually come from. She says your stomach, and says...
Well, she doesn't say her stomach. She says in here.
Yeah.
Here.
And Bronson's concerned that the baby might get mixed up with all the other things that he's eating.
Yeah. So, like, which is fair enough. I mean, every kid, that was what? Every
kid
I believe that. You know,
it
was the stomach. Like, okay, so you poop them out. Like, that's obviously, how could they not? So then,
I was surprised to hear that more babies weren't found in toilets. Like, I remember thinking,
yeah.
why aren't more babies born in toilets?
Good point. I don't really know. Yeah.
Tony, she says, Dad, you're really going to have to talk to him about this. He goes, okay, it's time we went for a walk and had to talk about this. Cut to Pete and Linda are outside doing judo.
Yeah.
Tony and Bronson comes back and they said, okay, did you tell him everything this time? And Tony says, I told him everything I know, which is not a good sign. Linda and Bronson.
He's a lady killer.
We cut to Bronson carrying a ladder. Linda's there.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, what are you doing with this ladder? What do you need this ladder for? And Bronson says, I'm going to block up Nell's chimney. And she goes, why do you want to do that? And Bronson said, well, the storks are coming.
Yeah.
We need to block up her chimney for bird control. Linda then looks into the camera, winks, and shakes her head.
These kids these days don't know what bird control is.
I think this is the first case of breaking the fourth wall.
Probably.
In around the twist.
Yeah, we're going to see
Momentous,
yeah.
Breaking it for a pun.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much the episode there. A tale of infanticide. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Infanticide.
No, I don't think it's infanticide. Infanticide is like... Well, infanticide is what? Like the murdering of a whole bunch of children, isn't it?
Well, it's like...
Is it?
Well, regicide is killing a king. And you don't have to kill multiple kings for it to be regicide.
But that being said, there's like... How many kings are there? Like, by ratio of kings to babies?
If you kill one person, that's a homicide.
Yeah, I guess
kill multiple people. I think side just means death. Like, you're thinking of like genocide.
I am thinking of genocide.
Many.
Infanticide, I guess.
Isn't the gen part of genocide like a group, like a genetic group?
Or ethnic group. I don't know if it's ethnic group. I think it's or any type of group. Because I mean, you can kill a particular
targeting an ethnic group. Is that ethnocide or is it still genocide?
Well, okay, so let's talk about
what does genocide actually mean?
I don't know. Like, let's talk about ethnocide. Like, let's say let's take a Holocaust, right?
Yeah.
The Jews were a particular. They weren't just a religious group. They were a race of people, particular race, who happened to be Jewish because of
we know.
Yeah. But then they also took care of things such as like African Americans, but not African Americans. Sorry, that's wrong to say. Can't say it. I'm sorry. It's black people because it's it's just the colour of their skin was the reason that they were getting
You're allowed
killed.
to say that again now. I think that's...
I don't want someone to go, you can say that. I'm like, well, it's what they want. They're talking about people with dark skin, I guess. But no, it's not dark skin because then you got Mediterraneans who are kind of dark skin as well. The thing is, people, if you say dark skin, have you ever seen someone from Italy?
Yeah.
They've got relatively dark skin.
Yeah.
Or by comparison to someone from Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you've also had homosexuals who were killed. They are not ethnic groups, but that's still a genocide, right? I'd still call that a genocide. I don't know.
I don't know what genocide means.
If you know what genocide means, write in and tell us that. Go to our website and tell us, or on our Facebook.
So that's pretty much the end of the episode. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Actually, not from the episode, I suppose.
What did you want to talk about? Did you want to tell me about your lunch again?
Yeah.
What did you have for lunch?
I had a burrito.
Where from?
That place?
Zambero's?
Zambero's burritos. Yeah, they were pretty good. They're not bad, actually. And
free advertising.
Free advertising for Zambero's.
Other brands are available.
Yes, if you have a brand, we will advertise it.
Other brands.
If it's good. If it's terrible, I'm not going to advertise shit.
Don't say that. Give us your money.
No, I'm not going to tell my listeners, hey, go drink ethanol because it's delicious because the corn industry is sponsoring us. No, thank you. I actually stand by my values. Thank you very much.
Anything else?
Yes. So let's talk about the Facebook.
Yes. Yeah.
No, we put up on Facebook the Tales from the Twist Round the Twist competition. Some people have actually entered it. It's pretty cool. If you're listening to this and you want to win something for free, go on to our Facebook. Which you can find us at Tales from the Twist. Just type that into Facebook.
Twists, plural.
Twists, of course. Yep. Type that into Facebook. You'll find us. Or just go, facebook.com/Tales from the Twists. And there is going to be a pinned post, which basically is all you've got to do is like our page. You've got to like the post. And then you just got to comment saying what your favorite episode of Tales from Around the Twist was. Or if you don't remember the episode, you can just sort of say the idea that happened, because it's hard to say, I loved episode S01E10, that was the best. No, you just have to say, I love Cabbage Patch.
Yeah, tell us your favourite moment. Maybe everyone's favourite one is the one where the guy swallowed the fish and it made his willy spin around.
That's definitely my favourite.
There's a lot of votes in there for Bronson peeing over the urinal.
Well, currently the top, you need to be top 7. Most amount of likes determines it. And currently, the person with the most likes, the most favoured comment, is Ashley Avci. How do you pronounce that?
I don't know.
Avicii. Is that how you pronounce your name? If you're listening, tell us how you pronounce your name. Just send us a message. All right. So if you posted on there and you want to win, you got to get a chance. You got to go out and you share this with your friends. Force some of your friends to like your post because they're your friends and they owe it to you. Of course they do. All right. Excellent. And of course, you can find us on our WordPress site, which is you'll find on our Facebook.
Yeah. You can do that. You can indeed, mate. So remember to follow us on Facebook, YouTube.
Yep, we're on YouTube as well.
Whatever.
It's called, I think it's, what is it?
Are we on the iCloud?
No, what?
The iCloud?
We're in the clouds. No, what is it, the iTunes shop?
Yes.
It's the iTunes shop, yeah, or a podcast. So subscribe to us on that. That's probably the biggest.
The Podomatic?
Podomatic, yeah.
We're on that?
Yeah, we're on that. I don't know who uses that.
Are we on Instagram yet?
I'm not getting on Instagram. What do we need to be on Instagram for?
I don't know.
And I'm not going on Twitter. I mean, I have a Twitter, but I'm not going to go on Twitter.
Are we on Bebo?
Oh, yeah, we're on Bebo, totally. We're on Bebo, yeah.
And
no.
I think we have several followers on MySpace.
Yeah, too many to count on MySpace.
Don't look us up on MySpace.
Yeah, I don't know what you'll find.
And that's all for today.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to us ramble for about an hour. My name's been Joseph Lewis.
And I'm Anthony Bull.
Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.